What if everything you've been told about love is nothing more than an illusion? What if love isn't a warm harbor to escape from pain, a perfect mirror of your longings, or an end where your desires are satisfied? What if it's a much more demanding, almost divine process that calls you to become who you truly are? Modern culture has equipped love with comforting but soul-numbing legends. Fairy tale romanticism, the soulmate myth, and the idea that someone else will complete you. These are comfortable narratives, yes, but they are also tranquilizers for the soul. They drag you into passivity, encourage dependency, and protect you from a deeper, more disturbing truth. Love is not a relief. It is a path of transformation. According to Carl Jung, love has never been merely an emotion. It is an alchemical process where the individual is purified, challenged, and ultimately expanded. It is a sacred fire, while others desire to possess another. Jung speaks of individualization, or him. Love is not two halves coming together to form a whole. On the contrary, it is the meeting of two complete individuals who choose to walk side by side while remaining true to their own inner realities. You must ask yourself, when you say you're searching for love, are you really looking for another person? Or are you just trying to find yourself in the mirror of the other? This confrontation is not a rejection of romanticism, but a call to authenticity. Because only through love seen, with a clear gaze, can the self integrate. Jung taught, love is not a destination, but an invitation for you to integrate your contradictions and become more fully yourself in the sacred presence of another. First sign, love liberates. There's a love that holds tight, and there's a love that sets free. Most people mistake the first for the real thing. They say, I love you, but what they really mean is, I need you. They cover their love with the language of commitment, but beneath this cover lies the fear of loss, loneliness, and the unknown. That's why they hold on tightly, because they believe that the stronger the grip, the more solid the bond will be. When viewed through Jung's lens, true love is not a closed fist, but an open hand. Jung realized that what many people call love is actually just attachment, a person projecting their own inner wounds and unmet needs onto another. He desired to possess arises not from abundance, but from lack, not from celebrating existence, but from the anxiety of absence. You may have been told that jealousy is proof of how much someone cares about you, but when looked at deeply, possession does not nourish the soul, it suffocates it. Here love reigns. There is no will to power, Jung writes, and where power dominates, love is lacking. Assessing is a search for power disguised under the guise of love. True love, however, aims not to conquer but to encounter. Yes, your love bind or bless. Does it imprison or give wings? Do you hold on from fear, or do you create space with faith? To truly love someone is to respect their freedom, even if it threatens your own sense of security. Part 3. Second sign. Accepting the shadow. To love only the bright sides of someone is to love only half the truth. The world teaches you to seek perfection in your partner. Someone kind, patient, confident, endlessly cheerful. Love that embraces only what is pleasant and polished is nothing but a projection. Jung understood that every individual carries a shadow within, hidden aspects like repressed anger, jealousy, shame, and fear that consciousness refuses to see. Shadow is not evil, it is merely repressed. Indeed, just as you carry your own shadow, the person you love carries theirs too. Truly love someone is not to deny this darkness, but to embrace it with compassion. Our partner will make mistakes, stumble, and over time reveal aspects they try to hide even from themselves. That's when love asks the question, can you stay not only with their light, but also with their wounds? Can you see the shadow, not to fix it, not to judge it, but to understand that this too is part of their soul? Very thing that irritates us about others can lead us to an understanding of ourselves, says Jung. Our partner's shadow becomes not an obstacle to love, but a mirror of your own subconscious. Accepting the shadow does not mean legitimizing bad treatment or harm. On the contrary, this is a call to a conscious relationship where both sides are not drawn to blame during conflict, but instead ask, what wound is speaking here? And are held with love, not illusion. Third sign, love encourages growth. True love does not ask you to stay the same. T does not keep you in a comfortable zone or trap you in stagnation. T is not a bomb to soothe you, but a fire to transform you. According to Jung, the fundamental task of the soul is the lifelong process of individualization, where a person transforms into the self they are always meant to be. His is not about reaching perfection, but about integrating everything that is conscious and unconscious, light and shadow. In this journey, the right relationship does not hinder your growth. On the contrary, it ignites it. The person who truly loves you does not merely soothe your fears. They compassionately bring them to light for you to heal. That's why you might feel uncomfortable in such love. His is not a sign of failure, but a sign of truth, because the soul grows not in comfort, but in tension. The meeting of two personalities is like the contact of two chemical substances. Jung says, if there's a reaction, both are transformed. Oh yes, your relationship make you braver, or does it diminish you? Does it protect who you are, or awaken who you could become? Love that encourages growth may not always be gentle, but it is always sacred. Fourth sign, beyond passion, the first spark feels divine. Oh, you meet someone, and your world suddenly becomes brighter. Jung observed that in these initial stages, you are rarely in love with the other person. Instead, you fall in love with an idealized image in your own subconscious, the anima, the man's inner feminine figure, or the animus, the woman's inner masculine figure. Oh, you see not who they are, but what you long for. His projection feels magical, but it is not yet love. Danger begins when this inevitable projection screen lifts, and the person you idealize transforms into a flawed and real human being. Will you be disappointed? Or will you choose to see them as they are? True love begins when this illusion dissolves, when you dare to meet the real person in front of you, and you choose to transition from passion to intimacy, to allow the fantasy to dissolve and love to become real. Love matures, deepens, and begins anew. T is nourished not only by passion but also by presence. Fifth, sixth signs, wholeness. Spirituality love is not about finding your other half. His idea is as misleading as it is romantic. Seeking completion in another is entering love, not as a sovereign being, but as a wounded soul unaware of its own wholeness. His creates not true intimacy but dependency. The most authentic form of love arises not from lack, but from abundance. T is the meeting of two whole people who have embarked on their own inner journey and choose to share this journey with another. Until this individualization process begins, the soul remains fragmented, and relationships become a mirror of that fragmentation. In such a relationship, you do not demand that your partner eliminate your loneliness. Oh, you can disagree without falling apart. You can be alone without collapsing. Oh, you support, but do not rescue, because love is not a crutch but a celebration. ACH person brings their whole self to the union. Here is no need to possess, because nothing is lacking. Ove does not complete you. It reflects back to you the wholeness you already have or are developing. Sometimes an encounter feels like fate rather than mere coincidence. Jung calls such meaningful coincidences synchronicity and believes they point to a deeper order of the universe. For him, love is not only psychological but also spiritual. In its deepest form, he calls it hieros gamos, the sacred marriage. His is a symbol not of legal union, but of inner and outer unity. A mysterious meeting where two opposites enter into a meaningful relationship. Yucca bond calls two souls not just to personal togetherness, but to consciously participate in something greater than themselves. The relationship becomes not a refuge, but a temple. Seventh sign. Conclusion. True love does not grant you the luxury of remaining unchanged. T sets the waters of your subconscious in motion and reveals aspects of yourself you could never see without it. The people closest to us are drawn into our lives because they carry the mirror of our unfinished business. And your partner triggers you when you feel jealousy, impatience, or defensiveness. Pause and ask. Instead of, why are they doing this to me? Ask, what within me is meant to awaken? Conflict is not the enemy of love, but the door where consciousness is born. Very moment of discomfort can become a teacher if you are willing to learn. Lasting love requires not only loving another, but also repeatedly facing yourself in the eyes of that other. T invites you not to punish, but to awaken, not to wound, but to reveal, not to defeat, but to bring forth the self you are always meant to be. These 7 signs are not a checklist, but mirrors to contemplate. They invite you to look not only at someone outside, but also at the depths within yourself. The ultimate gift of true love is not returning another to you, but returning you to yourself. And that is its greatest masterpiece. The 8th sign. You no longer fear aloneness. One of the deepest illusions modern love perpetuates is the terror of solitude. You're taught that being alone is a failure, that happiness is only real when shared, that a life without a partner is a life half-lived. Jung understood something different. Solitude is not a curse, but a crucible. Is in solitude where the self begins to speak. If you fear being alone, you may enter relationships for the wrong reasons, to escape, to distract, to numb. Love, entered from fear, becomes a form of dependence. Demands, drains, and destabilizes. Says, "Don't leave me, or I will fall apart." Yet when you make peace with your own aloneness, when you learn to sit with yourself, to hear your inner voice, to hold your own pain with tenderness, you no longer need love as a bandage. You can approach it with clarity, with freedom, and most importantly, with choice. Jung emphasized the necessity of inner integration. Until a person can become whole in their own inner world, they will seek that wholeness in external attachments. The irony is, no external relationship can ever fix an internal fragmentation. Ask yourself, would you still want this person if you weren't afraid to be alone? Would you still love them if your survival didn't depend on them? The answer will reveal whether your love is born from freedom or fear. The 9th sign. You face the archetypes within love. Jung teaches, is never just between 2 people. It's a dance of ancient forces, of collective unconscious patterns, the archetypes, that live within all of us. When you fall in love, you're not only encountering another's personality, but also activating the inner stories your psyche has carried for generations. Are you the rescuer who needs to save the wounded? Are you the eternal child seeking a parent? Are you the martyr who gives everything, hoping to be seen? Until you become conscious of the archetype you're enacting, you risk turning love into a stage for ancient myths. This is why many relationships feel faded, as if you've met before. It's not necessarily because of a past life, but because you've stepped into a role scripted long ago in your unconscious. The path to mature love involves becoming aware of these roles and then stepping beyond them. This means no longer seeking a lover to heal your inner child, no longer needing to play savior, no longer falling into the same patterns with different faces. Becomes conscious when the archetypes are acknowledged, honored, but not blindly obeyed. Love that is awake can say, I see the pattern, but I choose presence. Recognize the wound, but I do not demand that you fix it. Feel the pull, but I stay centered in choice. This is not cold detachment, it is sacred awareness. The 10th sign. Love makes you ethically responsible. Jung taught that individuation, the journey toward the self, is not just personal, but ethical. When you truly engage in a conscious relationship, you can no longer ignore the impact of your actions on another's soul. Real love demands integrity, in the moralistic sense, but in the psychological sense, a wholeness of being. You become responsible not for the other's life, but for the energy you bring into their space. You stop using manipulation, guilt, or silence as weapons. You no longer seek to win in arguments, but to understand. You drop the egos, need to be right in favor of the souls, need to stay connected. In a mature relationship, love does not mean always feeling good. Means being committed to clarity, to repair, to conscious conflict. Means asking, what wound of mine is involved here, before blaming the other. Your partner is not your emotional caretaker, nor are you theirs. You do hold sacred space for each other's growth. You do walk side by side, not to fix, but to witness. You offer presence, not solutions. And in doing so, love becomes not a feeling, but a form of ethical being. The 11th sign. You awaken the divine feminine and masculine within in Jungian psychology. The soul contains both masculine and feminine energies, regardless of gender. Animus, the masculine within the woman, and the anima, the feminine within the man, represent qualities such as logic and intuition, strength and softness, action, and receptivity. Most people seek outside what they have not yet integrated inside. Man disconnected from his inner anima will chase emotionally expressive women. Woman disconnected from her inner animus may crave a man who is decisive and protective. But in conscious love, these inner polarities are no longer projected onto the partner. Instead, they are awakened within. You begin to embody both fire and water, both assertiveness and empathy. You become whole, not through someone else, but through embracing the opposites inside yourself. Only then can love flourish without dependency. You no longer demand that your partner embody the qualities you've neglected. You see them as a companion, not a compensator. And in this space, both people are free and fully seen. The 12th sign. Love connects you to something greater. Jung believed that true love transcends the personal. Is not just about two egos relating, but about participating in a deeper mystery, the unfolding of consciousness itself. When you love truly, you begin to see the other not as mine, but as a soul journeying beside you. You are both students and teachers, mirrors and messengers, called together not to possess, but to participate in something archetypal. Your relationship becomes a vessel for grace. Becomes a sacred experiment, not in perfection, but in presence. In control, but in surrender. In ownership, but in witnessing. Love of this nature connects you to the divine. As a distant deity, but as the force that breathes through every act of compassion, every honest conversation, every shared silence. In a world that teaches us to consume love, to use it as entertainment or ego validation, this kind of love is revolutionary. Is an act of devotion, spiritual practice, fire that refines. Final reflections. Love is a path to the self, so now the question arises, why do you love? Is it to escape yourself, or to return to yourself? Is it to lose your identity in another, or to be reminded of who you truly are? Jung believed that all relationships are ultimately mirrors. Because the other person is exactly like you, but because they activate what is dormant, repressed, or undiscovered in you. This is why love is both terrifying and sacred. Exposes, disrupts, elevates, asks for all of you. The goal is not to avoid heartbreak, but to be broken open in such a way that more light can enter. Be dismantled, not destroyed. Emerge, not with a perfect romance, but with a deeper self. You may lose the person. You may even lose the dream. If the love was real, if it invited you toward inner truth, you will never be the same. And that, in the end, is what makes it divine.